bridge pose. Bridge pose I use, and you'll find Dashma uses a lot in her sequences as part of the warm down section at the end of the class, because you're down on the floor, it feels very grounded, you can feel very secure in this pose, and there's various options that you can do from this pose as well. You know, there's various different ways that you can do that. I'll show you a couple as we do this, but firstly we'll show the pose, the alignment of the pose, how it should feel, what you're looking for, and the breath action. But then I'll give you maybe a couple of variations on that you can add in to a warm down. So if you've done a lot of vinyasa at the beginning, it's been flowing, you know, it's good to come down to the floor and just open the spine up and let everything release and settle down, ready for your Shavasana. So, bridge pose, you start lying down, and you want to draw the heels in as close as you can to the sit bones. And also you want your feet hip distance apart, so you don't want your feet together like this, but if you bring your hands down alongside your hips like this, if you can't feel your feet, it means they're not hip distance apart. So open the feet. Now you want both feet facing forward, because if the feet turn out, the knees will fall out as well like this. So think, I can feel my hip distance apart and bring the hands down to the floor. Head is laid down flat onto the floor. On an inhale, I want to push into the feet and then turn the tailbone under. And as I do that, push into the feet and inhale, I can lift the hips high and then bring the hands underneath the body into fire hands. At this point, you want to try and get a little bit higher up onto your shoulders, so your shoulder blades a little bit closer together. That'll give you a little lift. And then as you inhale, you want to push the hands down to the floor as you stamp into the feet. So you would inhale, push the hands down, stamp into the feet, lift the hips high. So it's important not to turn the head from side to side when you do this, because you're putting a lot of tension through the back of the neck. But as you inhale and you're pushing the hands down, see how that lifts the chest, and then stamp into the feet and lift the hips high. You release the hands, roll down through the spine, keep the tailbone tucked under, and then bring the knees into the chest. You've got a little counter back bend here, so we've had the back bend, and now we're just going to close that space. So to do that again, bring the feet down to the floor, as close to the sit bones as you can. Feet are hip distance apart, hands are down on the floor. Inhale, step into the feet, turn the tailbone under, lift the hips high. Try and keep the knees in together. Bring the hands into fire hands. Try and get a little higher up onto your shoulders. Inhale, push into the feet, push the hands down. And then release, keep the tailbone tucked under, hug the knees into the chest, lift the head, and have a little counter forward bend just to close that heart space in again. So options you could give in the class would be bring the feet down, see if you can come onto your tiptoes and hold the top of the feet, and as you inhale, push into the feet, lift the hips. Again, don't let the knees spray out, keep the knees in, push into the feet, lift. And exhale down, hug the knees in. So that would be one option. Another option would be to bring the feet down, inhale, lift, and see if you can bring the hands into the small of the back and coming on to the elbows. And release, hug the knees in. And what I like to do, just because it frees off the back, is to keep the hands on the floor, inhale, lift, and then just make nice big circles through the hips. Let the sit bones come down to the mat, all the way over to the right, then all the way over to the left, and then in the opposite direction. And then hug the knees into the chest, little rock from side to side. And then from there you'd be free to go to whichever asana you would like to do after that. But you see how the movement of the hips is a good one to do in a beginner's class, because sometimes getting the hands underneath the body and that can feel really awkward and you need to build up to that. So if you can lift the hips and just get the hips moving around, what it does is it starts to build the awareness and the strength, so eventually they can come to do the full bridge. So there's some options for you. I like to intermit them with a few twists at the end of the class as a nice little warm down, ready for Shavasana. So, thank you very much. Namaste.
Okay. Keep smiling.